Welcome to Shom Machshov on the Daf. We're holding in Chulin Daf Choftes. The Gemara with base brings the machlokes if yeshno l'shchito mitchila ve'atzoif, meaning is shchito the entire process from the beginning of the cutting until the end is all shchito, or eino l'shchita ela b'soif, shchita is only in the end of the process. And the Gemara brings the Kaminas regarding that. Rabbi Yosef Engel has a tshuva sefer called Ben Poiras. And there in Siman Dalet, he brings the following Chakirah. What is Shechita? How do you define Shechita? Does Shechita mean that the Shechita kills the animal? That's what Shechita is all about? That it takes away the life of the animal? Or Shechita is exercise, you have to do a certain peula, regardless if the animal dies from that or not. He says one raya to say that it's not to take out the life is by the veshet. We know that even a small punctuation makes the animal treifa, means she's dead because of the fact that she has a hole in the veshet. But shechita is only when you do roiv, only if you cut the majority of the veshet. What's the point to cut more if anyway the animal will die from a small hole? Mashra over here that shechita is not to take out the life. She's exercise the way shechita needs to be done. So says of Yosef Engel, this is exactly the machlokes if yeshna shechita mitchila ve'atzoif or ein l'shechita ela b'soif. Why? Because of this reason. The mandamar that holds yeshna shechita mitchila ve'atzoif holds that already you make a hole in the veshet in the beginning, so the animal is already nevela. So if so, what's the point of continuing? The answer is it's one long process of shechita. Part of it makes the animal treifa by making a hole in the veshet, but the continuation is one long process. The other mandamar that holds ein l'shechita ela b'soif, he holds the beginning. I don't care the fact that the animal is already treifa, but shechita doesn't start until the end. What's the point to do shechita once the animal is already treifa? Because that's what the Torah says. So that's how the shechita needs to be. Continues of Yosef Engel, it says a gewaltige cheshbon. He says, in the previous daf, we had a discussion if mechza is keroiv or like keroiv. So the Gemara brought a question. The Gemara said, we find by treifel that you need to have a roiv. So it says, Rava, what's the problem? Treifel is different, because treifel, you have to have roiv and nira leinaim. To make an animal treifel, so you have to have roiv and nira leinaim. It has to be a very clear roiv. But it could be that for shchita, mechza is enough. So says Abaye to Rava, how can you say such a thing? If the guy be treifel, you need to have roiv and nira leinaim. So koshkin shchita, you have to have roiv and nira leinaim. Says of Yosef Engel, what's the machlokes Abaye and Rava? It's this machlokes. Abaye learns that shchita means to take away the life. So if the gabe treifel, which means when the animal becomes treifel and loses its life, only when you get to roiv, the life is taken out. So shchita, which is even more requirement to take out the life. So of course you need to have roiv and nira leinaim. But Rava learns, no, it's two different things. Treifa is mitzias, what takes out the life of the animal. Shchita is not because it's taking out the life. Shchita is exercise, so that's what's supposed to be. So that's why, like gabe treifel, you may need to have roiv and nira leinaim to take out the life. But like gabe shchita is exercise to do a certain peula, it could be that you don't need that roiv. Says of Yosef Engel, it's very meduyak. Because Abaye and Rava argue in Meseches Zvochim Daf Lamet regarding the sugya of lachtzos. So Rava there asked Abaye that when a person finishes shchita, he's considered to be that he has a few machshavas going on. Told him Abaye tells Rava, do you hold that eino l'shchita ela b'soif? No, yeshno l'shchita mitchila ve'atzoif. Meaning you hold it's one dibur, it's not one dibur, it's two diburim because you have a long shchita. So it comes out over there, the Rava holds eino l'shchita ela b'soif. And Abaye comes to argue, it says, no, yeshno l'shchita mitchila ve'atzoif. It says a very Engel, gewaldig me'oid, l'shita, so they go very well. Abaye is the one who says the yeshna shechita mitchila ve'atzoif, because he holds that shechita is what takes away the life of the animal. And he's the one who said in the last daf that if by treifel you need to have roiv, kol sheken shechita, because shechita is really another way, another function to take out the life of the animal. But Rava l'shita also holds that shechita is just because you're supposed to do something. And the fact that treifel you need roiv doesn't mean that shechita you need roiv. So he's the one who says that eino l'shchita ela b'soif. According to the cheshbon of Yosef Engel, pshat is even though you already took away, you made the animal already treifel, but shchita is not taking away the life of the animal. So this is a gewaltige cheshbon. Yosef Engel is teaching here on Yesod that after that according to Rava, The idea of Shechita is not to remove the life of the animal. The idea of Shechita is exersakosov, that there's a pe'ula, that's what you're supposed to do. And connect what we learned Le'el, we brought the Divrei Teres Chaim that says the whole idea of Shechita was to take the animal from the power, from the shlita of Malachim office. So you can understand this Chakirah even more. How do we taking away it under the Malachim office? Is by causing a death in a different way? Or the Pshat is, no, the death, I don't care about the death. There is exeris akosov over here, that if you're doing a certain mitzvah that elevates the animal, takes it out of the status of nevelo to a status which is shchuto. V'yesh oid le'ayim edover zeh. Anyone who wants to join, respond to the Shomach Shava Shiurim, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.